This episode of Wright at the Movies is brought to you by I Got Game. Ogdensburg's leading game store is located at 215 Ford Street, Ogdensburg, New York, across from the DMV. Need video games and comic books? Look no further. How about magic cards? Pokemon? D&D collectibles? All of that and more are available now at low prices at I Got Game. Stop in today from 12 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. I Got Game. Do you? Hey everybody, it's me, Mr. Wright, and welcome to Wright at the Movies. Today, I'm talking about Cinderella. Lily James, Cate Blanchett, and Helena Bonham Carter star in Cinderella. And it's a live-action retelling of the Disney classic. As everybody knows, there's a lot of different retellings of Cinderella over the years. Some lighter, some darker. But overall, they still have a lot of the same story elements. It's been retold thousands of times. And that's what's so kind of cool about it, is that you can keep retelling it and changing things and moving things around and trying out new things. These are big kind of characters and you can really play around with that. But the overall meaning still stays the same, and I think that's really cool and really important. Whether from the original story dating back to hundreds and hundreds of years ago, or just from the 1950s animated movie, Cinderella is timeless. And with all these Disney live-action remakes of animated classics, this is exactly the one they needed. Something truly and completely timeless. But with those other live-action remakes kind of tried something new, like making Alice in Wonderland this chosen warrior, or like making Maleficent this damaged fairy who becomes very close to Sleeping Beauty. Those ones at least tried something new. Whether or not people liked it is going to be debated for forever, but they tried something new, and these are big characters that you can do this and they'll survive. They can still go back to their originals if you don't like it. Those movies changed things up a whole bunch. Cinderella just didn't. If you've been living under a rock your whole life, you probably don't know the story of Cinderella. So let me just give you a really quick rundown of everything that happens. She lives with her mother and father, they're very happy together, but then her mother gets sick.
Have courage and be kind.
Then the father remarries after she dies, and then he dies. So after her father dies, Cinderella has to now live with her stepmother and her two stepsisters. And they're terrible people. They're the worst.
She'll merely be your stepmother, and you'll have two lovely sisters to keep you company. So I'll know, as far away as I may be, that you'll be safe.
So they basically make Cinderella become their maid, essentially, and she just runs all around the house doing the dishes and laundry and everything like that, and it becomes this really sad, tragic story. Until one day, she finds her fairy godmother, and she makes her this wonderful gown and dress to go to the ball.
They're made of glass.
And you find they're really comfortable. Now off you go, for you shall go to the ball.
At the ball, Cinderella meets the prince, and they fall in love, etc., 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 blah, blah, blah. Happily ever after. The girls that watched Cinderella at the theater in 1950 and the girls that are growing up now have both seen Cinderella and have both watched it a million times probably since then and know the story like the back of their hands. But when I went to go see this, there were a few girls in the theater, but they all looked so bored. One of them was walking up and down the aisles. That's what made me think that maybe all of these live-action remakes aren't for kids and little girls of this generation. What these live-action remakes are for people who grew up with the originals. It's the only thing I can think of. Everyone who really wanted to see this movie were people who had probably already seen the original and wanted to see something grander, something new, something bigger. The talking mice are here, kind of. They just kind of emote. They don't really talk. They just kind of convey their feelings through their bodies and stuff like that. They kind of act the way they're feeling. There's no singing, which I'm kind of thankful for because I'm not really a big fan of musicals. This is the most realistic and grown-up way to tell Cinderella while still keeping every element that the 50s cartoon had. Think Pride and Prejudice, but with a fairy godmother. Cate Blanchett as the wicked stepmother is really fun and diabolically evil.
Yes, stepmother. Oh, you needn't call me that. Madam will do.
Cinderwench. Dirty Ella. Cinderella.
I mean, her cat's name is Lucifer, for God's sake. I can just see some daydreams of Cinderella where she's just beating the ever-living crap out of her, like in Monster-in-Law.
Deal is to fight fire with fire.
I was thinking maybe the three of us could go to lunch tomorrow. What do you think? Yeah, I think it's a great idea too.
That would have been something cool and fresh to mix things up. And I also loved Helena Bonham Carter as the fairy godmother. She was only in one scene, but you know what? She probably even steals the whole show. She's that fun and quirky and weird.
Let's better.
My fairy godmother.
Granted, that's exactly the one thing Helena Bonham Carter does in every movie she's in, but she's fun and she's cool and she brings a lot of life into the movie when it was starting to get a little bit stale.
Now, where are these mice?
I wanted more from her. Even though that's not how the story goes, I know, I wanted more from her. I wanted more for the whole movie, actually. Everybody does fine. Acting, directing, cinematography, music, everything is fine. But like I said earlier, it just doesn't do anything new. If you've been dying to see a live action version of Cinderella, this is perfect. But if you want like a new version of it, if you want a deconstruction of it, if you want like a character study where what if we change X, Y, and Z and see how that changes how things work, this isn't for you. No matter what you do for a remake or reboot, people just hate the idea. It's hard to please everybody, especially with a story that people already like. But hey, with beautiful cinematography and a very nice movie, and with two lead characters that actually have some chemistry, I could have had a much worse time at the theater than I did.
I hope to see you again, miss.
And are you?
I give Cinderella 1 thumb up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Mr. Wright. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.